no day, our voice will resound. Ambazonia's people will never back down. The chains are broken, the pain is gone. Freedom is ours, and a new day has dawned. Shake, shake, no day, no day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Amazonia stands strong, we're marching forward, where we belong. From the rivers to the peaks, our strength will grow. The dreams of our forebears in us brightly glow. Our heroes, heroines, their fire still burns. We honor their fight with the justice we've earned. Shake, shake, and I'll win. No day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Amazonia stands strong, we're marching forward, where we belong. We are building today for the children to come. No more tears, no more sorrow for anyone. Our flag will rise high, its colors display. Ambazonia's bright future starts today. Shake, shake, over. No day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Amazonia stands strong, we're marching forward, where we belong. We'll shake off the fear and cast out the doubt. Our spirits will rise, there's no turning out. Freedom is our anthem, justice our creed. Shake, shake, no day, with love we will lead. Shake, shake, right there, no day, no day. Rise to the day, the day, the day. Shake, shake, no day. Amazonia stands strong, we're marching forward, where we belong. Shake, shake, no day, the future is bright. Amazonia will shine like a beacon of light. With every heartbeat, our message will be sent. Shake, shake, no day, until the very end. A cruise boy to sing.
Good evening, fellow Ambazonians. Greetings to you all, the brave and courageous people of Ambazonia. We send our love out to all of you. Any coward can start a war. To start a war, it's easy. But you can't control a war. The cowards in Yaoundé, the morons in Yaoundé that took over a state and have been unable to provide their people with even basic drinking water, with electricity, or schools. The cowards and morons in Yaoundé that have looted the state treasury from 1960, have bankrupted the state, and have subjected their people to poverty, an environment filled with diseases, misery, underdevelopment, suffering, repression, and terrorism. Because of their 4 decades plus of failure and humiliation, they decided to launch a war against the Amazonian people as a way to distract their population, distract their people, and prevent their people from holding them accountable. They declared a war. Now they can't control the war. They declared a war. Now they are running away from the war they declared. The former South African president, Mr. Mbeki, made a statement that was captured and is now circulating on all social media platforms and has shed light on who Mr. Biya is and the cowards that occupy key positions in Yaoundé. Let's listen and watch what Mr. Mbeki said that will help everyone to understand what's going on within Cameroon and why the conflict in Amazonia. It's a well-calculated political game to keep Mr. Biya in power. Let's watch and listen.
Challenges in Cameroon that have been going on now for some time, including the violent conflict within Cameroon, kind of civil war. So we've been trying to talk to President Biya about this thing, to say as the African Forum, that's a former heads of state of Africa, to talk to President Biya to say we are ready to assist you, to work with you to solve this conflict. And we haven't gone very far because he's not been very keen to be assisted to address these challenges. So I then talked to, as the Africa Forum were doing this thing, I talked to the Commission of the African Union to say to them, but colleagues, what are you doing about this conflict in Cameroon? So one of the commissioners then tells me that we discussed the matter as a commission and decided that one of us should visit Cameroon to engage the president and everybody to see that what can we do as a union. And she said to me that, and indeed our colleague went. And I was sitting here in Addis Ababa watching the news. And in the news, it showed my colleague arriving in Yaoundé and walked down a red carpet. And she says, you know, President, when I saw my colleague walking down that red carpet, I knew that the mission had failed. So I say, no, this is a puzzling statement to make. He says, it's because the way they arranged that reception was to drive the notion into the head of my colleague that you are a very important person. So you are received with great grandeur. So in the end, it's the visit itself which becomes the objective, not its outcome. So I knew that my colleague would be so happy that he was received so well, and the red carpet and the champagne, this and that and the other. The mission would die. is a crude reflection of the death of the Pan-Africanist objective. You can't sit there as a full-time functionary of the African Union and you go there to solve a very serious conflict among the Cameroonian people, but you don't carry it out because all that you do, that happened, that satisfies you, is that I was given all the necessary protocol and the due and so on. So now I'm a big person. It means there's something that has disappeared in terms of our consciousness and so on. But I'm saying that, you see,
what we all can take away from this is Mr. Biya who has declared war. The African Forum, it's a platform of all African head of states, or former African head of states, that have the background, the knowledge, and the experience, and the expertise. And the objective of the African Forum is to assist African governments with whatever is needed, whether it's conflict resolution, conflict management, or conflict prevention. Whether it's how do we find resources, or how do we re-engineer or development. So here are former head of states that are sitting and looking at how can we solve this problem, this humanitarian catastrophe, this conflict. And they engage Mr. Biya. He won't give them a listening ear. Then they move it up one notch and engage the African Union Commission, which is the Secretariat of the African Union. And they were successful in getting the attention of the Commission to respond appropriately, immediately. The African Commission, as you've heard, sent a representative to Yaoundé to meet with Mr. Biya and his top deputies to engage in a process of seeking for a peaceful resolution of the conflict, to address the root causes of the conflict. What happened when they got to Yaoundé? From an objective to seek for a peaceful solution, it became an event of propaganda and manipulation to manipulate the psyche, the psychology, and the thinking of the person delegated by the African Commission, throwing them a red carpet, throwing all sorts of parties to manipulate them so that there will be no time to discuss the purpose of the visit. There will be no time to discuss the conflict. And this is the pattern of Mr. Biya, running away from solutions. Running away from meaningful discussions. Running away from the African Commission. Running away from the African Forum. Running away from negotiations to end a war he cowardly declared. And now he has no control over the war. And these are the puppets that are being supported by France and Norway. Even when the African Union, with all its resources and its interest to help to solve the problem, those that created the problem are running away from the problem, running away from engagement, even to discuss with former African head of states. That's why this conflict keeps going. Because negotiation to Mr. Biya means capitulation. Negotiation to Mr. Biya means defeat. They don't want to negotiate because by accepting an internationally led mediation, it means they have been defeated. It means they have capitulated. That's why he's running away from negotiations. You can't run away from the inevitable. You can't run away forever from the inevitable. Cameroon doesn't have much time. The sad news for Cameroon is the more Cameroon delays in engaging in negotiations, the more Cameroon itself splinters. The more Cameroon itself disintegrates. The more Cameroon itself crumbles. And Cameroon should watch out. A possibility of an armed conflict either in the north or in the western regions. A possibility of an armed conflict in the east, which will be supported by rebels from Central African Republic. Because of the number of weapons that are pouring in. So the more the cowards and the morons in Yaoundé delay in engaging, in accepting help from the African Union, from the European Union, from Canada, from the Swiss, the more Cameroon will go down as a state. Let's watch the second video of Mr. Tanganji Paul in Rome. Here is when Pope Francis died. Mr. Biya refused to go to Rome because they are afraid to put him in spotlight. He's unable to walk. He can pee on his pants. So they are afraid to put him on the spotlight. They didn't send the prime minister. They didn't send the secretary general to the presidency. They sent another houseboy with no experience whatsoever of diplomatic protocols. So they took the same disease they took the same cancer from Yaoundé that is eating the core of their society. They invited you to meet with the new Pope. Guess what he brought as a gift? Bribery and corruption. In open space, the disease that is eating Cameroon and tearing Cameroon apart. Atanganji brought corruption from Cameroon to Rome. Atanganji brought bribery from Cameroon to Rome to corrupt and bribe the new Pope. Why? Because Pope Leo has indicated, like Mr. Trump, to be a Pope of peace. So that there is a possibility for the Pope to call for a negotiated settlement to end the conflict between Cameroon and Ambazonia, and to use the good offices of the Pope as a mediator. So to stop that action, they brought an envelope to bribe the Pope. This is the same game Cameroon is playing with cripples of Norway. This is the same game Cameroon has played with every single visitor, every single foreign head of state, an official that has visited Yaoundé. It's propaganda, deception, manipulation, bribery, corruption. So that by the time these people leave, there will be no time to engage in meaningful discussions. So they end up with an event giving them a trophy, a psychological manipulation. That's why most often these people get to Yaoundé, they throw them lavish parties, and then they end up with a Photoshop, handing them a trophy, and you never hear from them again. Because they have been manipulated, deceived, bribed, and corrupted. Unfortunately for Cameroon, you can only do this for so long. You can only do this with so many people. These things have a lifeline. There's an end to these things. Not everyone is susceptible. Ambazonia's strategic defeat of Cameroon has created a vacuum in the conflict. That has been exploited by bad actors. Ambazonia's strategic defeat of Cameroon occupation governance has created a vacuum that is now being filled by bad actors. We have prevailed as a people. It's a conflict. There is a vacuum because of Ambazonia's defeat of Cameroon. That vacuum can only be filled through a negotiated settlement. Cameroon is not coming back to Ambazonia. The status quo no longer exists, and it will not be brought back. So we understand Ambazonians are impatient. We are not the only one fighting. It's a conflict based on two sides. The Ambazonia Governing Council is taking serious actions to mobilize international partners to mount pressure on the Cameroon government to end the madness of the adventure of this conflict in Amazonia. And pressure is on Cameroon. So be patient. We have defeated Cameroon and restored the dignity of the Amazonian people. A negotiated settlement is all that is left. And as you can see, and as you've seen from many videos circulating online, the CpdM party is bound to win this year's presidential election in Cameroon, whether it's through Mr. Biya or through another candidate. But CpdM will maintain power because of the vast network of bribery and corruption. And since the people of Cameroon have decided to trade their destiny with a piece of bread and sardine, since the people of Cameroon have decided to sell their destiny in exchange for a piece of bread and sardine, that is the price they will pay. As you sow, so shall you reap. Those that are exchanging their destiny for pieces of bread and sardines will reap the destiny of pieces of bread and sardine. Watch. This is not the end for Cameroon. That's why they call Cameroon a comedy country made up of clowns. Also, because of Ambazonia's strategic defeat, the Cameroon occupation and colonial government has gone as far as imposing on Ambazonian chiefs, imposing on Ambazonian royals, imposing on Ambazonian dignitaries to become marching boys and marching girls, all with a manipulative and deceptive motive to project that the funds and chiefs are still with Cameroon. So the colonial governor, Okala Bilai, and colonial SDOs and DOs, they compelled the chiefs of the southern zone of the Atlantic states to become beggars on the streets of Biya. That is how desperate Cameroon has become. Because according to Mr. Biya's playbook, the chiefs and funds have become political tools of deception and manipulation. Because the chiefs and the funds decided to become enablers of occupation and genocide. And that's the price you pay when you sell your own conscience and you sell your own dignity for pieces of silvers. When you sell your own humanity and your own conscience and you sell the blood of your own people for survival. What else is left of these chiefs? Cameroon has been defeated. The occupation infrastructure have been dismantled. And now the chiefs are a new tool of political manipulation and deception. That's how low and that's how desperate Cameroon is. What will change? 20th May came, it's gone. The day of propaganda is over. What has happened to the chiefs? They were humiliated, marched. They are no longer the same. How can they go back to their own constituencies and their own communities and say they are chiefs and they are royals? Has that brought back any sense of normalcy for Cameroon? No. Has that ended the war? No. You cannot reverse the progress, the gains Ambazonians have made. We have defeated Cameroon. We have dismantled institutions of occupation governance. There is only one exit: the negotiated settlement. There is only one exit: signing a surrender agreement. That's the exit. That's the only choice Cameroon has. We as a people, we have prevailed. And that is what we've decided. And that is what it is. Thank you for watching.
Girl, put an asolo. The population for Malende this. Population of farmers, the farmers and this. The farmers and this way, they don't remember for road where they fear army for go bush. As the Siam, the Lucam. The Malende population this way, they don't remember road where they fear army for go bush. For very bad thing the way army they do for people them. The look population where they don't remember for roads. Yes. People don't remember for road. They need one go bush where they fear army when they look at when they see the distance.
So yeah, and what did really happen now for Malende?
The population is remember for road. Where they fear what way army they do for people them. Army they torture people, they don't sell for bush, beat people, shave all with women, they head them. Catch people, take me to the slap themselves, 10 slap, rob people them for mud, beat them with collars.
I said they take money for people.
Yes, 1,000 for settlement every day before you want to go bush. You carry in banga, you pay 1,000 for go carry in banga. One come, they assess in banga, say you will pay for each bag. Now oil, 1,000 for one job oil, cassava they pay for army. I mean, don't make people know they get peace for Malende here.
So what you want them to do now?
We want to make them move them for that place where they're there. They say they can't protect weed, but they instead put weed that trouble for skin. They don't make we suffer. People they fear for Malende. They let me people they start pack run for Malende because of army.
Okay.
Yes.
No problem.
They don't agree. They don't know. They're bad people. Go back and say they come out. Go to place.
After the goal.
I don't go to play. I go for my ass.
I become mass. I must see the end. I want that
money. No, I cannot get.
The viewer are going to get money.
Me go outside. Come out. Go to their land. That boy, don't go be big people that mommy don't find them, shave their head them. See, all the boys they buy them.
You go buy them. Oh, thank you.
Yes, they go direct without a big cam.
And when my finish do my mommy any no day and enter line just to go.
No, go outside and go my house and beg. I know you for that. My army, the whole world, now the population.
They even
We gotta wait.
Welcome to ACN.